Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode today. We are so excited that you're here. It's getting to be a little bittersweet. I'm going to be honest with you. This is our second to last episode, and our final guest of the show is going to be on today. And so I'm a little excited because I want to celebrate, and I'm a little sad too at the same time.
A lot of mixed emotions. Yes.
It is a lot of it's a roller coaster. So at any rate, with the roller coaster of emotions, we are so glad that you're here with us today because we know that you could be watching anything right now. So whether you're live with us right now or on the replay, we are so excited that you are here. We'd like to invite you to take a minute and click the love button, the share button, so that more people can enjoy this show with us today. My name is Jessica Dugas, intuitive mentor and energy healer.
And my name is Donna Brown, and I'm a holistic wellness practitioner, and this is The Breakthrough. It's a spiritual view for your soul and mind where we dig deep on today's spiritual hot topics and inspire you with stories of those breakthrough moments that change our lives.
So I know that this time of year for me, I love to hear inspirational stories. I think there's no better time to that we could all use a little more peace and gratitude and joy in our lives. And so I'm really excited about our guest today. Our guest is my friend F.A., who will be joining us from over the pond. It's evening time over there, and he'll be sharing his story that you won't want to miss. This is going to be a really inspirational story today. But first, we've got to get to today's hot topics, and that means it's time to say hello to our panelists today. First up, we have our declutter coach and consultant, the amazing Heather Clark is with us today, helping us to stay organized during our breakthrough moments. And then we have the fabulous Jane of all things, our designer slash photographer slash meditation teacher slash juicy conversationalist, Miss Tara Abrams today. Listen, let's not get on the topic of Mercury again, people.
We got in a lot of trouble with that last week.
We did. And I was talking to Donna before the show, and I said, we came on this show last week all egotistical about how we were going to show Mercury who's boss. And I think every one of us has had a fun time this last week. Does anybody disagree with me?
Showed us who was boss, and it was not us.
It's so funny because I think at one time or another, I had talked to each one of you, and whether it was issues with communicating with somebody or technology or something not coming across right. And it was like, I just sat there and took that in this week. And I said, how could we have been so bold?
How could we have messed with karma, Mercury karma?
I was thinking about that a lot today. I was like, we just talked about this. Yeah. And we're all like, we're good. We're good.
Oh my gosh. Well, Donna, I don't think we should talk about Mercury anymore behind its back. So what are we going to talk about today?
We today are going to talk about the holiday hoopla. We had Thanksgiving in the United States yesterday. We have Black Friday in the United States. Does other places do Black Friday?
I was going to say Canada.
Okay.
Celebrates as well, yeah.
It's fairly new there though, because my husband said the first few times here, like he had never experienced anything like that there.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, and by the way, who decided to put it on full moon, by the way?
All right, what I was just going to say, and we got a full moon and Mercury's in retrograde. What else can we add to this holiday hoopla? I think, would you like to bring something else to the table?
We should have brought liquor today.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's funny because this is I made a post in my community this morning. This is the first Black Friday where we haven't gone out. We didn't go out last night. We slept, and God, it felt good to sleep. And then I haven't run any specials on in my business either. And this is the most peaceful Thanksgiving weekend I have ever had. Mm-hmm. Yesterday we cooked for I say our little family, but
yeah, exactly, your little family.
We just cooked for 8 people, so we cooked for, and then we had some friends who weren't going to eat have a holiday meal with anybody. They were just gonna sit at home with nobody, and I was like, that is not okay. So we went and we met them out last night and brought them some food, and we played around taking pictures. And downtown is all lit up and everything. But today, like, it's been, even though I've come on to work and come on to do the show and everything else, it's so nice right now today. And we didn't buy anything we didn't need. First time for everything.
Yay.
I know Heather's excited about that.
Heather, no
Well,
more
it's-
decluttering for Jessica.
Oh, well, and it's so funny though, because like for me, Black Friday, I'm just like, oh, people are going to be out there buying stuff just because it's on sale. Not
Right.
because they need it, not because they want it, not because whatever. It's just because it's a deal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it really a deal when you still spend that money and never use it?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, as you can tell, I don't participate in Black Friday.
I don't either. I'm with you, Heather.
Yeah.
But for a different reason. But
Or Cyber Monday either. Unless I actually needed, like, I think one year I needed like a microphone or something like that. And that was the only time. I was like, that's the only time. I knew I needed this. I knew I was going to spend the money on it. I might as well get a discount on it.
Well, and that's what shout out to Mona Lashbrook in my community this morning, because she was talking, she commented on my post and said, I went out, but I went out to go buy a pair of shoes that I needed. Like, it was to treat myself to these shoes that I really wanted, and I went ahead and got them. And so I think stuff like that is nice. But I've had that same mentality lately of you know, just using what we have and kind of, you know, not to say we won't give gifts for Christmas or anything, but why do we want to rush out? Because that's what happens on Black Friday. It's all this impulse shopping because this is like the latest thing. And I was telling everybody before the show that it used to be that the sales would not start until after midnight on, you know, going into Friday. And yesterday I ran out of cinnamon. I was making pies, ran out of cinnamon. My husband ran to the grocery store, and it was probably noon, and the line was wrapped around Best Buy at noon
Wow.
yesterday. And I'm like, what happened to sitting and having Thanksgiving? Like, what happened to Thursday? I don't know.
Wow.
It's like
Yes.
it's keeping, and it drives me crazy. So I was like, we're not shopping. We're just going to chill.
Yeah, see, I know here they actually started doing Black Friday week. So they don't just make it the one day, they make it the entire week. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
probably not as crazy, but still a lot of places do just today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm avoiding those at all costs. I realized today we had to get a few things for dinner tonight, and I'm like, oh no, I have to go with the crowds. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah, no, we have to go out after the show.
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly what it is, that we have to go out after the show. And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
I have to do it. I'm like, I
Sarah,
don't
are
want
you
to.
shopping today?
Oh, no.
I'm not really sure how you feel about that.
I'm not either. Is that a good no or a bad no?
I don't want to, no, I'm with you guys all on this. I'm like, I don't want more stuff. I don't see the need for more stuff right now. And I'm with you guys. Like, if it's a holiday, celebrate the holiday and spend that time together. Like, why are we running around standing outside in the 4-letter word freezing cold to buy something I probably don't need? And honestly, online shopping's so convenient that why leave your house if you have to? But no, I'm not really, I'm not a big, no, I'm not into it.
She's just like, no,
I'm
let's just go.
trying to get rid of stuff. You know, I'm still trying to get rid of stuff. When Jess has 6 kids, but with 3 kids, like, they're growing out of stuff all the time. Like, I'm like, the less we bring in, the better.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel too, like, from your perspective, Tara, with, you know, the amount of stress that all of it brings to people?
That's why, like,
I
honestly,
need a meditation teacher once Black Friday is over.
you know,
Yeah, all
honestly,
meditation teachers have their special on tomorrow.
Yeah.
no, I wasn't putting any, well, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. Like, it's one of those things that it just doesn't even faze me. It just zips by, and
Yeah.
I just ignore it all, and then it's done. you know,
Well,
yeah,
let's-
you get more emails coming in. I guess if I
Yeah.
needed something, absolutely take advantage of the sale and maybe planning for it. It's good. Like if you knew you were going to make a big purchase for Christmas or something, and you know they have these sales once a year, then sure, go for it. Like, you know, keep your eye open and stuff. I think that's great. You can save some money, but like, I don't know. I just like to avoid the whole chaos. I like to stay out of it. I mean, I can stay calm in it, but I also know it's going to be chaotic, and I just don't want to put myself there.
Right.
Well, let's talk a little bit about kind of authenticity and stuff behind this too, because and maybe what's right to do, because I think all of us in the different lines of work that we're in could make this an opportunity. Like Heather could be before Black Friday going, you know, declutter before you go buy all the stuff. And Tara could be like, you know, everybody's going to piss you off during the holidays. So meditate with me. You know, and Donna could be like, I know what you're eating, so you probably need to watch your health after. You know, we could, I think there's an opportunity there for everybody to use the holidays. And I think
Well, even with you, with the full moon happening today, you can be like, all right, let's use that. Yeah.
I think Jess needs to be our marketing person now.
I know, right?
She's got this all figured out.
Okay,
Marketing.
missing the point here. My point though is like, should we be cashing in on the holidays, or do you feel like we're kind of missing the point of the holidays a little bit?
Oh, absolutely missing the point of the holidays. Like,
Yeah.
if you, like for me personally, like, and that's why I didn't want to do it. That's why, you know, I didn't want to put anything else out there that was, you know, a savings or a discount or whatever. I'm like, no, I'm like, it is there. If you
Right.
wanted it, you're going to go find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that for me, I think we need to enjoy the holidays and spend the time with family and friends and immerse ourselves in the holiday and what we're grateful for, or, you know, at least work from that aspect instead of being running around trying to find deals and me trying to offer a deal. And now I'm stressed out because I'm on my phone the whole time trying to figure out if anybody's answering my deal, you know, and trying to get back to them.
Yeah.
So for me, I just think it's a lot more stressful. And I think we're losing the sight of what the holiday is really there for.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and for us, like Canadians, like we don't have our Thanksgiving here. We had it back in the first weekend in October. So it's very entertaining to be so thankful one day, and then the very next day you're like fighting with somebody because you wanted that doll for your, like, it's just like, when did we lose that connection?
Well, and now, like I said, it's flowing into Thanksgiving. So we're not even sitting to have meals because everybody needs the latest Furby or whatever's out there. I don't even
Oh
know
my God.
what's out there.
Don't ever, anyone who's watching this that's in my family, never get my children Furbies.
No Furbies for Heather's kids.
No Furbies.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Well, let us know if you're watching, whether you're on live or on replay, what you're doing today. Are you shopping? What's going on?
Yeah,
Well,
well,
obviously
it's funny.
not shopping because we're here.
No, we're not shopping because we're here.
We're here talking about the people that are shopping.
And if you are shopping right now and you're watching this on the replay, you should feel guilty because you were shopping and not watching us live. That is all.
But we still love you.
Yeah, exactly. But we still love you.
We do, of course. Of course. And Princess was saying, always blaming the moon. You know me. That's all. Always blaming the moon. I also want to say hi to Linda. I want to say hi to Pip and everybody else who is watching live at the moment. Thank you so much. And we got to get our guest on today because he's a really good guest. And I posted on my page yesterday or this morning that, see, I don't even know what day it is. I'm all hungover from the pie. So this morning,
What were you putting in that pie, Jess?
yeah, something to make your spirit bright.
Secret ingredient.
So it's all organic. It's all good.
Yeah, as long as it's organic. But our guest today is my friend F.A., as I mentioned, and I'm really excited that he's our final guest for this season of The Breakthrough. And it's really, I'm gonna talk for a minute about that, why it kind of works and is so synchronistic, but I would love to get him on to share his story today. So everybody please hit the heart button and welcome my friend F.A. to the show today. And he should be on in a minute. if Mercury likes us.
Oh, watch it.
Don't ask that. Don't put that out there.
Welcome. We're so
Hey.
glad.
Hi, how you doing, guys?
We are good.
It's
I-
good
so-
to be here.
I'm really excited that you're on today because the story that you're going to share today is really, about the personal development, your focus on personal development and how that's gotten you to where you are today. And I think that all of the episodes of our show this season has been little bits and pieces of personal development and on self-care and focusing on what we need to do. So I think this is going to really wrap it up and bring it home for us. So I'm excited that you're here. What do you think about all of the holiday hoopla going on, Efe?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here, and it's an opportunity, and I'm very grateful and thankful for being here. Most especially, it's a Thanksgiving Day. What a special day and moment to be here today. So it's good to be with you, ladies, and those people who are watching or listening to us live or maybe afterwards. It's good to be here.
Awesome. We're excited to have you here. And I'm glad that you're thankful because that's timely with Thanksgiving yesterday.
Yeah.
So we're really excited for you to dig into your story today. And I would love for you to start us off taking us back to what things were like for you before you really started working on your personal development. I'd love for you to even share a little bit about what things were like for you growing up, because I think that a lot of times many of us can get very in a bubble.
Yep.
With how things are, and we don't realize how difficult other people have it. So let's share a little bit about that with us, if you will.
Yes, I can. Thank you very much. First of all, when I have opportunity to speak to people, sharing my story, I begin by saying change is possible. I don't know where you are at now with your life, those who are listening to us live and those who will listen to us later on. You might be struggling with one thing. Maybe you want to start a business, you want to grow a business, you want to improve your relationship or get out of a bad relationship, you want to lose weight, whatever thing you want to change in your life. That has been very difficult. I want to let everyone know it is possible that you can change your life. The reason I'm saying that is because I was so privileged to change my life. Growing up was very difficult. I'm grateful that I'm now in the UK. I've been here for 13 years now. I'm originally from Nigeria, and the journey began for me, or I had a wake-up call when I was 12 years old. And I was born into a family of 5. I happened to be the eldest child, the senior son. And I was 12 years old. I have been given an admission to study for my secondary school education. And the challenge then was there was no money to pay for my school fees. There was no money to buy books. There was no money to buy school uniform. My father passed away now, may so rest in peace. A very good man. However, his business wasn't doing well. And my mom was just a petty trader. There was no money. Now, the question now was, should I give up? Should I quit? What can we do to raise money so that I could start school in the next few months? So my mom and I became very creative. We said, okay, why don't we go to our village, the forest, to do some farm work, to harvest some crops and bring them to the city to sell in the marketplace and make money. So that was what we did. So we went to our village, the remote part of the village of the town. There was no electricity. We were there. We did farm work in the morning from 6 a.m. to about 6 p.m. in the evening. There was no electricity. There was no good water. There was no how. We're sleeping in the little hut there. At night, we were exposed to wild animals. Thank God I'm still alive. I wasn't bitten by wild animals. So we slept in the forest for 4 days in a week, doing farm work. luckily we had some crops were harvested, so we brought the crops to the city, and I had to go to the local market to hawk them and sell those crops to raise money. And that was how I was able to raise my first school fees, to buy my school books and school uniform. And I got in school. Now, the challenge now then was, how do we sustain myself to continue my education? And how can my family sustain ourselves? I had to continue hawking groceries on High Street.
Mm.
And that was what I did when I was 12 years old.
It's really interesting because we have so much here when fall time comes around and everyone's got to, all the children have to go back to school, and all of the parents get to complaining about having to go to get certain crayons and going to get the whole list of things and all of that. And I mean, there's already so much gratitude to be had here through your story, because to think, I couldn't imagine my children having to go and sell things on the street just to be able to go to school, just to be able to have an education. It's amazing.
Yeah, so it is amazing. So that was what I did. And the challenge then was, how do I now sustain myself to finish my secondary school education for 5 years? I was 12. So how can my family, my siblings, my mom, everybody feed? So I had to go back to the farm during holidays and hawk when it's not school time, or after school in the evening and early in the morning. And that was how I did. So at age 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, I was on the street. I go to school in the morning, 8 a.m. and finish 2:30 p.m. And I'll go on the high street from 4 p.m. in the evening, hawking groceries for 3 hours. And I did that from age 12 to age 21. And in between, the money was not enough. I had to do some late night job, go to factories, do all sort of labor and all that. And when I was 21, things get worse for us. My father got ill. He was sick. And we were in pain. And he went to the hospital. He couldn't survive it. And the worst thing was, he passed on right in my presence in his bed. Very difficult. And what do? I had no money. I had no connection. Nothing was going on. I had finished my secondary school education. I was 22 years old now. I had an admission to study in the university. I went to the first year, second year, but I couldn't continue. I lost motivation. There was no money. Things got really worse. And as a young adult at age 22, I had a girlfriend who I so much love. And I was so looking forward that sometimes in the near future, life will turn around for good for me. I'm going to get married to this girl that I love. The one evening, she came to me and said, Efe, I don't think you're going to work between us. You're poor. You don't have a good future. I'm going to walk away. And she actually walked away. And then I've just lost my dad. She just walked away from my life. My career was at stake, no money. And I became depressed about life. Very depressed. When I say depressed, chronically depressed, I started withdrawing from friends, and I was seeing myself as not good enough. I was seeing myself as a victim of circumstances. All I was thinking was I was born poor. I was born into stress. Life is not meant to be good for me. And all those negative thoughts, they clouded my imagination, my thoughts, my mind, and I became depressed for so many years. And one day, a friend of mine just came to me and he said to me, Efe, what are you up to? I said, nothing much. He said, let's go to church. Let's go to church today. I said, church? I don't want to go to church. I don't think I'm fit to live anymore. I just want to die. And he did all he could, and he actually invited me. I went to the church. And on this day, the pastor was preaching, and he said something that opened doors opportunity for me from within. And he said, when he was talking to the congregation, he said, there is something deep down within you. You are important. You got to reach out within you and bring out the best in you. And that message was for me. So I left the church and I went back home. I was not asking myself, does it really mean what he said? Does it mean there's something deep down within me that is very important, that I'm special? So I began to ask myself those questions. So I went back. To cut the story short, I met him briefly. I told him, I love your message. This is who I am. This is my stress. This is what I'm going through. I don't know what to do. And he just counseled me. He prayed with me. And a week afterwards, I went back. And he gave me a gift that changed the story for me. And that gift was a book written by Anthony Robbins, The Unlimited Power. And I read the book, and the book began to change my thinking pattern. The book began to let me know that I can change my life if I can change my thoughts pattern. And the book, I was meant to return the book back to him 3 weeks afterwards. I didn't have money to buy the book. So what I did, I went somewhere to make photocopy of the book. I photocopied all the book. Luckily, somebody paid for it. So I began to read the book. So it was just then, and I got into personal development. I said, wow, so I can think right again. So there is hope for me. So I went to the local library in the city. I began reading books, and that was how I got into reading books. And within a period of 3 months, all the books that I've been reading, and I gathered some information. I put it in a small pamphlet. I think I wrote about 32-page content of what I read from Anthony Robbins' book and some other books. So I put them together in a pamphlet. I didn't have money to publish a book. So I put it in a kind of a booklet. And now I needed money. I said, I want to go to this world. I want to change people's life. I want to change the world. I want to teach people what I've written down here. But I need money to publish this book. I went to meet an uncle to please borrow me money. I'm on a mission. I want to change people's life. He promised me for over 3 months. He didn't give me the money. But out of sheer determination, I went to a company where I was working in a factory. I was brave. I was bold. I went to the managing director's office and I said, I have been working in the factory. You don't know me. I'm on a mission. I want to write a book and I don't have money to publish the book. I need you to please give me money to publish my book. He said, why did you think I have the money? And I said, because you are the managing director of the company. You know, story short, he gave me money. I took the money, went to a publisher, published a 32-page book. And I said, I want to go and speak to young people who are depressed, who have lost hope, that there is hope for them. And the first place I went to was my church Sunday school class, 12 years old children, to use it to practice public speaking. Then I was teaching the young people in the church. And from there, I moved to the youth in Pan, went to schools, went to universities, went to all tertiary institutions in across the state. I was living back home in Africa, in Nigeria. And that was how what I do today was given birth to. So I became obsessed about helping people. I became obsessed about public speaking. So I bought a book written by Dale Carnegie on public speaking. So I read a book on how to improve public speaking skills. And within a period of 12 months, I sold 6,000 copies of that book. And I made money for myself the first time. Then I believe anything is possible in life. So from the money I made then, and I set up a non-for-profit organization called the Destiny Resource Foundation. So I was now going to the community, to where young people, to schools, to speak to students, young adults who are going through what I was going through, that they can change their life, that everything is possible for them. And I did that for a couple of years. An opportunity came. You don't want to know how I got my visa to come to the UK. So opportunity came. I came to the UK. Luckily, the first 4 weeks of arriving in the UK, I discovered life coaching. And I got trained to become a professional life coach. And I have done all sorts of certification and training. What I do now, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker. And over the years, I have made it my mission to make a difference in the world. I have made it my mission to eradicate limiting belief from planet Earth. So that's how I evolved into doing what I'm doing today. And today, my business, I am so fortunate and thankful for what I've been doing through my business. I work with clients, entrepreneurs. I work with career professionals. I run seminars. I run events, massive events in the UK. I get invited to speak to groups. And it's been a journey.
It sounds like it's been a journey. just a little one, a little one. You and I have had a conversation before, several months back earlier in the year, and one of the things that we talked about was, that there are a lot of things that people can go through that can just spiral them downward. And
Yeah.
if you and I remember asking you if you felt like, what sets someone apart who makes it and who doesn't? What is that something that you think there is? And I'm curious, listening to your story, because I know you went through a lot as a child, and then you got very depressed, and then started to go upwards afterwards. So was there anything before the depression as a child that you can look and say, oh, like that little boy was super determined, or what do you think it was that kept you going?
Well, before I got depressed, before this whole incident of stress and poverty came, I was a very famous boy in my primary school. I was good in football. I was the boy in town, the talk in town. I was very famous. But in life, as we go, things get tougher. Now, what sets me apart? What made me to be able to break away from that difficulty of giving up was when I realized that what I was going through then, that wasn't what life was really about. And when I discovered personal development, the thing that changed my life was to make a decision. A decision what my life is about. Now, in Tony Robbins' book, it said something that really that helped me a lot then. It said, it is a moment of our decision, our destiny is created. A decision about what to focus on. A decision about what your life stands for. A decision about what you want to do with your life, and let go every other thing. So what happened was I made a decision that my life is about making a difference in the world. I wouldn't compare myself with friends who are doing well with their career. I wouldn't compare myself with friends who had money then than me. I wouldn't compare my friends who have flashy cars, who have families. I said, this is who I am. This is what my life is about. This is my pursuit in life. I'm going to make this in my career. And that decision has helped me to remain focused. And that's why I call myself the focus guru.
I love that. I like the focus guru. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Would you say that when you had that breakthrough moment and realized that you needed to make a decision, as you use that language, to make a decision to move forward, would you say that was an because I have issues with, I have some clients that think that when you make that decision, then boom, everything's going to happen overnight. So would you say that was a quick, once you made the decision, you were able to move forward quickly, or was there a process that you had to go through to keep yourself in that forward motion of moving forward? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Making a decision is part of the game, but it's not the all of all. When I made a decision that this is what my life is about, for me to sustain myself, I have to upgrade my skills. I have to develop myself so that I can be relevant. I have to learn a lot. I had to invest in myself. And I had to let anything to distract me. So when I made a decision, I said, okay, what can I do now to moving forward? And the best part of it was, it's not just about making a decision, it's about having a vision. The vision of who you want to become. The vision that I said, this is who I am, it now became a secret companion. When things are not going the way I expected them to go, when difficulty come, the vision I have in mind became a secret companion to me. And that vision keeps telling me, if you don't worry, the future is bright. Don't worry, things are going to be good. So that vision is like having a faith, the faith that things were going to turn around good for you. So that was what's, well, has still sustained me today. The vision of what the future going to bring, the vision of what I want to bring alive, the vision I want to do, that sustained me. And that kept me going even to today.
That's beautiful. You know, I was reading a quote last night by Gandhi. I was doing some reading before bed, and he was saying, the rise to the top can sometimes feel like a lonely one. And, you know, it seems so fitting to what you're talking about right now. And I'm just curious, did you feel that way through your journey? And you know, I love when you talk about books and being handed out a book, because I know for myself, I found them to be such a powerful tool when you're in a place of that self-development and figuring yourself out and, you know, finding a bigger purpose and a vision in life, that there are some super powerful books out there that almost can be like, I don't want to use the word support, but it's almost like that where it's a go-to that you can go and you read, and you know, just changing that thought process.
Yeah.
Process, sorry. 3 thoughts at one time. I'm like so like taken back by everything that you're saying. So it's just amazing. But yeah, did you feel that way? Like, how did you feel like it was a lonely journey along the way? And what did you do to not feel like that?
Well, it's been lonely. It's been lonely. I must say, it hasn't been. You don't come to a point in life whereby you stop developing yourself. I am still developing myself every day. Life itself is a journey. We try to fight the battle from within, you know. So when I made a decision, I said, you know what, I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to work on myself. Depression still come, fear still come, doubt still come, the feeling of insecurity still comes in. But what is more important than that is the decision I had made many years ago. And that is what helped me not to give in, even if I feel like giving in. The vision of what I want to do, this is my life, this one I want to live. So when those feeling of fear, insecurity, doubt, feeling of failure comes in, I just say to myself, this is temporary. This soon shall soon pass. This is temporary. This soon shall soon pass. So those are the kind of mindsets I have in doing things, making things happen, and creating results.
Okay, so you were saying back when you were like just starting out right at the end of your like the depression or right in the middle of it, that the pastor was more like a mentor, or that's who, you know, what he said was, you know, eye-opening, was life-opening for you.
Yeah.
Who would you say is that person, like similar to that person? Because obviously you've moved since. Who would you say is your person now? That's, you know, that is that life-changing, that, you know, is that mentor of yours in the place that you are now?
I have a lot of mentors in different categories, in different ways. I have mentors I speak to one-on-one. I have mentors, I read their books and I practice what I do. One of the big mentors that I've had that I have not met is Tony Robbins. I haven't met him. I read his book as if I'm reading the Bible. You know, I listen to his YouTube as if every day. So Tony Robbins has been a great mentor with his work to me.
That's awesome.
And one other, again, a distant mentor who I have not met. I read his book. I invest in a program. Brian Tracy,
Nice.
from a distance. You know, in terms of my own business as a speaker, as a coach, and as a mentor, I have a mentor from America. His name is Bot Dobin. He was the one mentoring me on how to grow my speaking business. He's an old man now. He's about 92 years old now. He's an American guy. So I do have some mentors here in the UK. But in the beginning, it was Anthony Robbins. Through his books, through his audios and YouTubes, I read it, so committed to it. And it's been very helpful to me.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. And knowing that a mentor doesn't necessarily mean that somebody that's working with you one-on-one, but that a mentor can be somebody that you're following, like you said, the YouTube, the books, whatever. So like just anyone who's watching, just knowing that, you know, a mentor isn't just a coach. A mentor can be somebody that you just immerse yourself into their, you know, their stuff. That's awesome.
Very important. And it's very important that everyone should have a mentor. If you can afford a mentor who you speak with face-to-face, one-on-one, please do. If you can't afford the services, get their books, read their books, get their materials online, print them, download them, study them, and you learn a lot. Because when you stand in the shoulder of those who are ahead of you, you run faster and quicker. You get results.
There's that you said that. It's so well, it's so true, right? Like there's so much available out there that you can utilize until you can get to a place where you can, you know, work with a mentor if you can't at the moment. And it's such a valuable tool.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I agree. I think that there's a lot of people who stay stuck because they feel like I can't afford this at the moment, or I can't, whatever their excuse is. And I think you've given us so many moments today, Efe, that encourages us that we really can do whatever it is that we want to do if we, you know, if we have that determination behind it and keep that vision or that faith, like you talked about, that things are going to work out how you want them to. And I would love for you to finish us up today, sharing what Efe is up to now. What do things look like for you? Because you've come up and up and up. Can you still keep going?
Yeah. One of the challenge I have currently, what I do now, I have a company called the Focus Guru. Basically, I work with entrepreneurs, medium-sized businesses. I help them to grow their business using public speaking and effective marketing. I run workshop, I run live events, with big audience, and I get invited to speak locally and nationally. And I do have some private clients. I do mastermind group. When I came to the UK, it wasn't easy for me. It was very frustrating as well. Being in fact that in the community where I live, I happen to be the only guy with the African accents, with the colored skin, do what I'm doing. So it took a lot of effort and determination to be able to fit in, and it wasn't easy. set up on a business, and how does the cash flow come in? How do I get clients? And again, it's a mindset thing. And there was a time I almost gave up, that I don't think I can do this in the UK. I'm not English. I don't have the English accent. I'm black. Who am I? I'm an African man. What can I do? And it came to a point whereby I told myself, my accent, my color will be my brand. I'm going to use it to stand up from the community. And that was a mindset shift. And that helped me to fit into the community. Now people say, the only guy with the African accent, the only guy who can do what others cannot do. And one of the things I always tell people in my seminars is, irrespective of what career or business you do, one of the things you must do to fit in is to upgrade your skills. Because if you don't have skills, people will not accept you. You cannot provide solution in the marketplace. I have invested thousands of pounds to develop my skills to be able to fit into the community, and people see me as a man of solution, and that's how I break through. And one thing again, I always tell people is, you got to choose your friends. You got to choose the people you associate with, because when you're trying to build things, people don't see results, they will discourage you. So what I did, even before I came to the UK, I had to choose my friends. People who accept me for my failures, people who accept me for my struggles, who believe in my future, who believe in my present moments. And that has helped me even up to now. I choose my friends, I choose people I choose with, and with that, I've been able to press on even when it's difficult.
I think it's so important, everything that you're talking about. And I know that that's one thing that when we talked before that we had in common was feeling a little bit of a disconnect with where we live. And that was one thing that when we talked originally earlier in the year that really inspired me to just be myself anyway and find my group anyway that are gonna understand me and not it can be very difficult. And I love that Tara shared that quote as well, because it can be lonely, but if we focus on that vision and our faith and what we want to do, then, and just keep pushing forward, I think that that's where the magic happens, truly. Effie, thank you so much for sharing with us today. And I know that so many people are just going to be so inspired by your story.
Thank you, Jessica, for having me here. Thank you, everybody. I'm grateful to be here.
And make sure you guys check out Effe's link in the description and connect with him on Facebook as well, especially if you're over in the UK too, and you can, or you want to be a speaker or anything like that. His link is there for you to connect with him. Thanks again, Efe.
Thank you very much. And if anyone here listening to us now or afterwards, if you are a coach or you are a consultant and a business owner, if you want to learn how to use speaking to get clients, to build a business, I think I've done it for the last 7 years. I know what is in it. I could be of help to you. I know the secrets. I've done it.
Awesome. So make sure you guys connect with him, and we'll talk to you again soon, Efe. Thank you. Thank
you very much.
All right, ladies. I was taking some notes at the end there because there was a lot of good stuff, and I loved that you asked the question that you asked, Donna, because we've talked about that before. Well, we talked about a couple of things. We talked on the show about, number one, that one breakthrough can often create another and another and another and another. And we've also talked about, this idea of envisioning or praying for or trying to manifest what you want, and thinking that you're just going to say a prayer or just picture it in your mind and you'll have it the next day on your lap. That's not how it works. And his words were that he made the decision, but then he gave it everything that he had, that it takes that action to be able to create what you want. You can't just wish it into place.
Well, and I also like he said that he focused. He didn't worry about, what Joe was doing. He didn't worry about what Sally was doing. He was focused on what he was doing and moving forward. Yes, he was further behind, or yes, he was further ahead of some people, but you know what? It didn't matter. He knew what his vision was, the decision he made. I like the fact that he kept using the decision, because that
Right.
means that it's a personal choice.
Right. Yes.
So
And I
that's
also
awesome.
like that he kept hitting on when he was reading Tony Robbins' books, or anybody's books for that matter, that he practiced the exercises in the book. And he continues to practice the exercises in the books, because I think that people don't realize, they read the book and they see the exercises in there and they maybe do them one time and then they don't ever think about them again. And those tools, like we've been talking about all season long with everybody and their different tools or practices or protocols or whatever words you want to use there, are so key in keeping you on that forward motion and keeping you where you're not judging yourself and you're not comparing yourself with other people. I'm not looking at Jessica going, well, gosh, why can't I do technology, Jessica? You're so good at it.
Some
Yeah.
days I wonder.
It's because she immersed herself in it. That's why. Yes.
And I just go, I got Jessica. I don't need to look.
That's a beautiful thing about networking too. Even if
Right.
there's something like that you need to figure out for your life to make your life better, easier, whatever, it doesn't, there are all of those books out there and you have the choice to immerse yourself, but you also can network with amazing people and you don't have to necessarily know all the things to make it through. I'm sure that there are probably things on Effie's journey that he was like, thank goodness I knew that person because they were able to help, move me along. And so I think that's it's one of the beautiful things that I think about connecting online too, because the world is so much bigger with who we can connect with.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, the connection online alone is priceless. Absolutely.
And the other thing that I really liked too was that he kept talking about his mentors were not necessarily always a person, that he, got a book, watched videos. And not saying that we shouldn't reach out to people, because I really think that's highly important as well. But if you can't, or you're not in a place that you can afford to, you can always get a book and read it.
Yeah.
Or you can always watch a video on YouTube, or, and start that process, because once you start that process, your thought processes are going to change. And once your thought processes begin to change, then you can actually reach out to other people and go, hey, I'm needing help over here. Can you help me?
Yeah. And it goes also from I can't do it to, okay, how can I do this? How am I going to make this work with what I have right now?
Yeah.
Where I want to go? What am I going to do? As opposed to going, oh crap, I can't do it. Okay, I'm just going to sit on my couch and, do nothing
Eat
about
bonbons all day.
it. Eat bonbons. Oh, I haven't even heard that word in forever.
I don't even eat bonbons. What was your favorite, Tara? What was your takeaway?
Well,
There were so
first,
many. So
there was. I mean, and first I have to say, like, just thank you so much to him for sharing that story, because the journey is real. Like, he talks about his childhood and stuff like that. And I know he's in a great place now, but like, that was a real journey and that was a real struggle. And that's something that not a lot of us, living here in North America, we don't experience that as much. And I know it
He
goes,
was a
it's
kid.
not exactly. And I mean, and that's the thing. I have an 11-year-old son. Not that it doesn't happen here. I'm not saying it doesn't, because sadly it does. But
Right.
that struggle is really real. So for him to be able to come and share that story and where he is today, I think is such a powerful message. And I love the word tribe. When he talked about it's that connection and aligning with people that do support you, and when you're not seeing the results that you want, not having somebody going, well, guess you suck at that, maybe you should move on. Like where's the person going, hey, like, it's that example, like how many, it was 1,000 times, I think it was Thomas Edison tried to get the light bulb to work before it worked. Well, if he had given up, after 72 times, we might not have electricity. I don't know, you know what I mean? But like, it's just that perseverance and that consistency to keep going, and in connection with others is just such a valuable thing. Community.
Yeah, I loved what he said at the end about choosing your friends and the people that you share with. And I know that, not everybody is always, especially in the line of work that all of us are in, really, on this show. that not everybody's going to always understand what it is that we're doing or why or any of that. And so it's so important to, like, we don't have to necessarily share everything with everybody. And that's something that I really struggled with in the beginning, because I was like, who wouldn't want to be happy for somebody else? Who cares if they understand or not? Like, who wouldn't want to be happy? But that's just unfortunately not the way it is. And then you end up being like, why did I share? And then getting sad that they didn't understand and all of that. And so I think what he said at the end there, about choosing your friends and the people that you share with is really important. Especially in those moments when you feel like you may have failed. Because that stinks to have to go through that. And then because we beat ourselves up enough. I don't know how everybody else is, but I tell everybody all the time, if you are picking on me, trust me, I picked on myself 100 times before you ever said anything. And so it's like, we're hard enough on ourselves. And so then we get in that bad place and we have other people bringing us down too. I think that can put us in a really tricky situation emotionally too.
Yes, I agree a lot.
So it's almost time to end, and this was our last guest today.
Crazy.
I know. Can y'all believe that? What is this, episode 21? 20?
Episode 21 today. Yeah.
So we're
And,
21. Woohoo!
We're legal now.
We're legal.
We should have brought the alcohol to the show.
I know. Maybe next week we need champagne for the final episode, but it's been so much fun having every one of the guests that's been on this show on. And I want to really, really quickly, I'm going to pull up my notes here for a second. And I want to give a big thank you to every single guest that we've had on this show: Jamad, Lucinda, Heather, Lori, Miha, Tara, Christy, Teresa, Tina, Suzanne, Shoshana, Genevieve, Betty, Tamia, Siri, Jolianne, Claudette, Cindy, Crystal, Nicola, and of course, finishing today with F.A. We've had some just incredible and amazing stories. And I'm excited for next week's show because we're going to discuss everything. Like
with everyone, all the panelists.
Everybody will be here.
And the cool thing was this was a great one to end with. It's like the streets to success. So, each one of them led to something else, which led to something else. And we had this snowballing effect of each one of them fed off of each other and fed off of each other. And then we end with the streets of success. And it was just so synchronistic, as we've been saying all season long. And I mean, and to think we didn't even line it up this way. This is what is just so amazing.
Yeah, and we've been planning for next season, for seasons 2 and 3 in 2019, and we're so excited about that. And in fact, for everybody that's watching right now, and I don't even think Heather and Tara know this, you can go to thebreakthroughshow.com, and we're actually live there right now on the website. So it's very exciting. Yes. Woo, woo. We've been getting so much stuff set up and everything behind the scenes, getting ready for next season. And we definitely want, if you want to be a guest on the show next year, if you want to be a panelist on the show next year, we've got a couple spots for that. But we have 2 seasons we're booking for next year. So please do send either Donna, Heather, Tara, me, Jamad, Lori, any of us a message, and we will get you to the right place to get an application and to be a guest or a panelist. And we'll be so excited to have you on to share your story too. So finishing up today, I want to thank Effie and of course our panelists, declutter coach and consultant Heather Clark, and also Miss Juicy Conversationalist Tara Abram. And I also want to thank all of you for being here with us, whether you've been on live or on the replay. I encourage you to check out all the links in the description of the video to say hello, to continue to leave comments, and we'll continue the party after the show. And make sure also that you reach out as well if you'd like to be involved in the show next year. So thank you guys so much for being here. Until next week, my name is Jessica Dugas, intuitive mentor and energy healer.
And I'm Donna Brown, Holistic Wellness Practitioner, and this has been The Breakthrough. And as Jessica said, be sure to join us next week for our season finale, when we will be joined by all our amazing and talented panelists, Heather Clark, Tara Abrams, Lori Davis, and Jamad Kelly. So until then, we look forward to seeing you guys next week, same time, same place, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. See you next time. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.